January is obviously the trial run. Everyone knows that. Anyways, how are you, bridge friend? How is your new year going? I hope it's amazing. I feel like I'm starting off this new year pretty strong, if I may say so myself. But honestly, I'm hoping that you are ready to dig in deep today because we are talking about the 5 audits that I make, that you should make, that we are going to make in 2024 to make it our it girl year, become that girl, however you want to describe it. Because I like to say I'm that girl. You are that girl. We are going to be it girls this year, and it girls audit their lives. These audits are really important because when you are becoming that girl, you have to ditch some of those old habits that were not creating the life that you really wanted to live. You have to cut some old shit out to make room for the good stuff. And I'm going to help you do it today. It's the Bougie Budgeter here, and we are doing 5 audits to make sure that this is your it girl year. 5 things that I want you to dig a little bit deeper into that I also do every year because I want to make sure that I am laser focused on what I want to accomplish for the year. Before we get started, make sure if you're not on the email list, go ahead and join that email list. I send money tips, tricks, and things about your career to help you get your money together. You get all the good information first before I put it on the interwebs or whatever. If you're on the email list, you get first dibs to everything. So make sure you sign up. The link is in the description below. And so we have 5 things on our receipt today. And we are talking career, interpersonal relationships, digital environment, your physical environment, and obviously your personal finances. Because I'm not the bougie budgeter if we don't talk about money and personal finances, right? Right. So the first audit that we want to do is a full career audit. And when we are auditing our career, let's start with the pros and cons. We're going to look at the industry as a whole that you are working in. It doesn't matter what industry, whether you're in media, print media, if you are in accounting and finance, whatever. There's so many industries. And I don't want to be just like fully focused on like, oh, I work in tech. Tech is technically an industry, but like get a little bit more specific. What type of tech is it? Is it software as a service or SaaS? Is it retail? Is it ed tech? There's so many different sectors in that industry. So be very hyper specific on what industry you're currently in and what the pros and cons of that specific industry. Are there major shifts happening? Is AI coming and steal the jobs? Like, what is the industry standards and what's changing and what's current with them too? Understanding the pros and cons of your current industry is super important. Then we're going to talk about your current company, right? So we were looking at it from an industry level, the big sector, and now get a little more hyper focused into your company. What do you like about your company and what don't you like about it? Do you love that there is a lot of opportunity and you can switch roles very frequently and fairly easy? Do you hate your specific position, or do you just hate your boss? Do you hate the customers that you have to interact with? Like, what part of your current company do you like in your current role? If the pros list is longer, then that's great because we want great things to be a part of it. But if the cons list is looking like a rap sheet, it's giving 2024 is a time to get out of that job, time to get out of that company. Is it stopping your growth? Are the people too gossipy? Like, is it just that same one in the office that just be rapping, talking, and you want them to shut up? What about your current company do you have pros and cons about? And now laser focus on you and your past year's work. Look at the projects that you've worked on in the past year. What did you love about the projects that you worked on? And what was like, nah, we could have done better. Like, I didn't love some of these projects that we did. What about the projects do you feel like pushed you outside your comfort zone or kept you in the comfort zone? But you really loved the flexibility of the projects. You loved the project manager you were working with. You loved all the individual persons. Like, oh, like, how do I work with that project manager again? Or how do I get this person on my team again? How do I recreate a project that was similar to the one that I created like that on an everyday basis. You always want to look at the pros and the cons, more so laser focus on the pros. And we want to keep trying to find a job or a company or a role that reflects all the pros on your list. Maybe you hate the company, but you love the really cool projects that you were able to work on, and you like using this creative part of your brain, or you like this skill set. So how do we kind of figure out how we can continue to replicate the good things about your role? The last thing that you want to look at in your career audit is the skills that you have gained. This is all gains, no negativity. What skills have you gained over the last year? Have you done a lot more project management and you really feel like you know how to do a launch better than anyone else? Have you done your big one with design this year and you have designed some of the greatest covers? What did you really love about the UX project that you were able to lead? Were you able to gain more leadership positions? How does that make you feel? And what skills did you learn over this year? So those are the audits that you want to do. I'm not going to get into like really what do you do after you've gotten to the audits. If you would like a video like that, let me know. I think that would probably be a great like continuation of this conversation, but we want to just focus on just reviewing that, seeing what you are doing, because the only way you can move forward is to see what you've done in the past and find the patterns. So before we keep going into this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. We're trying to hit the first 1,000 followers. I would love your support. Number 2, let's talk about interpersonal relationships. Everyone loves talking about these things, and I'm not just talking about romantic. I'm talking about your friendships, your family, and the loves of your lives. You know, if you have more than one love, that's fine. If you only have one, okay too. But let's talk about your interpersonal relationships and how you should be auditing them for this year, because this is the year that you become the it girl that you have always wanted to be. So what I want you to do is set a timer for 5 minutes, and you are going to write out every person in your life that you feel is a noteworthy person. And this can be your mentor, your boo, your best friend, your mom, your dad, like any relationships in this last year that is just on the top of your head. Get it out of your head and onto paper, and think and make a list of all the important people in your life. Every person that you can think of that is an important or a major influence on your life. And for each one of those people, you are going to audit your relationship. You're going to ask questions like, how does this person make me feel? How do our conversations usually go? What do I like to come to this person to talk about? What does this person like to talk to me about? Because that's important too. Are you and this person only have this relationship where they come to you for needs and you're not really there for you when you have a need? Think about those kind of things and how you are truly interacting with all the different types of people, and give them a label. What part of your life do they interact with? Are they more on the personal side, or are they more on the professional side? Have they made you feel comfortable and excited to talk about a project or to work through things? Think about all of those major people that impact your life right now. After this audit, decide, how do you want to move forward in that relationship? Do you want to continue on what you are doing? Do you want to ramp it up? Maybe you want to talk to them a little bit more this year, or do you want to stop communicating with them? All of those things are valid, and it's all a part of the audit. And then the last part of your interpersonal connections, some of y'all not going to agree with it, but you need to delete those old numbers, text messages, Instagram threads, DMs, all of that. Delete it. And I know like people are always on some, oh, well, I need receipts. I don't need receipts for anything. Those were receipts for my old past life, and I don't need it now. I don't care to have this conversation with you. I don't want to remember these old conversations. If you keep the screenshots in your phone, that's fine. But in my phone, in my camera roll, I'm saving space for new memories, new photos of me being that girl, me enjoying my next part of my life. I don't need this from y'all. Okay. I don't need to feel like I'm holding on to bad juju. Just delete it out your phone. Delete it. What do you need it for? Those people suck anyway. And if you want to take it a step further, I have what I call the ghost files. And the ghost files is where all men who I don't talk to anymore, either I ghosted them, they ghosted me, or I just never want to hear from them ever again. I put them all into the ghost file. I can't text the ghost back. I don't know whose number this is. Who is this? Start your ghost file. That's what you need to do. Which kind of brings me to our third audit. And our third audit is your digital environment. The first thing that you are going to do when you are auditing your digital environment is go through all of your followers, your subscribers, your likes, your comments, your favorites. Go through all of that old stuff and decide if that's still a part of the person that you want to be. Because right now we have already decided that this is our it girl year. This is who we want to be. So what does an it girl look like to you? You're going back through your old favorites, your old likes, and you're like, that's not the person I want to be. I used to be that girl, but I don't want to be that girl anymore. That's the time where you delete it, get rid of it. Unfollow them people from high school that only be talking about bullshit and you don't like anything that they got to say. Unfollow them. And if somebody comes back to you and say, "Hey, why'd you unfollow me?" Honey, I don't even know. We just not talking about the same things no more. And that's fine. And if they unfollow you back, who cares? You wasn't following them anyway. Get rid of it. Get rid of all of that. Clean out your cookies on your TikTok algorithm, your Instagram algorithm. Just wipe that shit clean. And I know a lot of times some people just like to start a new Instagram or a new profile. But I think that there's something very powerful and uncowardly, because I think it's very cowardly to just oh, I'm done with this. So I'm just going to start something new and just whatever. Own up to it. Look at the people that you were originally allowing into your life and into your space, into your digital atmosphere, and take your power back from them. It's just something powerful to me about just, let me take that back. Just, let me take that follow back. Take it back. It's yours. It's your power. Do the unfollowing, unliking, unfavoriting. Go through what you have been holding on digitally and release it. Another thing that I love to do in this audit is look at the music that I'm listening to. And I love how Tidal shows you what you were listening to in the past month and who were the artists you were listening to and all of those kind of things. I like to make playlists for the emotion and my word of the year and what I want to envision and embody for the next couple months or whatever. So when I was super in my lover girl era and I was I'm trying to find me a man, I'm trying to, just have love cover me. I listen to my lover girl playlist and it's all songs about love. It's all songs about being tender and being happy and being around the love of your life. That's what I want to feel like when I see a man. That's my man. When you are saying this is my bold girl era, I'm only using that because this is my bold girl era. This is the music that makes me feel bold. This is the music that if I had a movie and they was introducing me, this is the song that I will walk out to. My Lil Wayne, stop with straight shots and then pop bottles. Poured on the mottos. Shut up, swallow. Come on. Why would he say that? That's so bold. I love to create playlists that just really envision and really help push what kind of person I am trying to become or what person I feel like I am right now. Think about the kind of music that you're listening to. Look at your Spotify Wrapped and what was the most played songs, what were the most played artists, and what kind of message do they really represent? And is that the kind of message that you also want to represent in this time of your life? I love when Fantasia said, you got to stop listening to sad songs. You want to find you a man? Stop listening to breakup songs. because you are subconsciously putting that into your mind. Like, you're putting into your mind that you're never going to find love, and, all things are going to be hopeless and whatever. So I started having to listen to music that made me feel good, that made me think about love, that made me feel like I'm counting money and I got a whole bunch of, I am that girl. I'm a poppin' ass bitch. Let me remind you. Because those are the words that you are replaying in your mind, that you're hearing in your mind. So when you are doing your digital audit the music that you are listening to. What movies, TV shows, YouTube, your TikTok videos on your For You page, you need to audit those. What's going on? What are you listening to? What kind of images are you putting into your atmosphere? What do you find funny? I like to laugh. I don't like to feel sad. I don't want to see no scary stuff. So I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch anything with a lot of blood and gore. I don't like anything that's about drugs. Funny. I need something funny. I want something funny, lighthearted, and maybe get you thinking a little bit. I want to laugh. I want to enjoy myself when I am watching television. So that's the kind of stuff that I watch. Sitcoms, funny movies, rom-coms. That's all I got for you. Number 4, your physical environment, not to be confused with your digital environment. Your physical environment are the things that you can actually touch and see. And I'm not going to be like, oh, just throw out all your old stuff and whatever. No, that's not really what I think about auditing your physical environment. But you do want to take note of, like, what colors do you mostly see around you? What colors are you wearing? Do you feel most confident when you're only wearing black, but you're saying like, oh, you want to step into more creativity? So why aren't you wearing more colors and experimenting? And what colors do you see on a regular basis? I challenged myself to like not buy any black clothes for like the last 2 years. I think I've bought like one or two black things, but for the most part, I like try to wear color and have something that's like happy and exciting, because black just be feeling sad to me. Like, I feel like I'm at a funeral. I feel like I have to go to work. I worked at Victoria's Secret for so long, and we could only wear black. I worked at Victoria's Secret and David's Bridal. I could only wear black. So I'm like, I want to do something different. Black makes me feel like I'm going to work or a funeral. And I don't even wear black to funerals no more. I wear white because it's a celebration. So if that means adding more color into your environment, not just your clothing, but maybe just paint a wall and put some color up. Throw out and sell any of like the clutter and the junk that does not reflect who you want to be. And you don't always have to throw it out. You could take it to Goodwill or the no buy groups. Listen, the no buy groups, get into it and sell, trade your stuff, have your stuff sent to a home that truly does need it, but maybe it's just not the space that you want to be. And again, just physically releasing junk makes you feel better. Physically removing certain things from your atmosphere just takes that weight off of your shoulder. So you definitely want to take that time to audit your physical environment and what's the junk that's been in your life that really needs to be removed. And then the last thing is to like review your clothes. Look at what you're wearing and how you're showing up to the world. And if you're saying it girls look this kind of way, and you feel like that's what an it girl looks like, why aren't you dressing that way? And it doesn't mean that you have to wear blazers and, a power suit every day. But like, if your it girl is Avril Lavigne circa 2000 and she had that grunge look and she was that girl and still a pop star, do that. Like, envision yourself and mold yourself into the it girl that you believe. So who is the it girl for you? What do they look like? And create that space for yourself. Start molding yourself into what you think they have that makes them an it girl, and bring that into your own wardrobe and your own makeup routine and your own lifestyle. Number 5 is your personal finances. Of
Of
course,
course,
we
we
were
were
not going
not
to
going to
talk
talk
about how
about
to
how to
become
become.
that girl, it girl in 2024 and not talk about personal finances. Like, come on now. The first thing that I want you to audit is what did you spend your money on in 2024? And I have a budgeting template. It is linked below. So make sure you get that, and that will help you through some of your personal finances. You can look at your past credit card statements and debit card statements and look at everything that you truly have been spending your money on. Have you just been eating out a little bit too much? Or have you spent too much money on Candy Crush? I don't care what you spent it on. But auditing that and looking at where you actually are doing all your spending. I'm not going to make generalizations of like what people are spending too much money on. You know, spend your money how you want to spend it. But when you are reviewing where you're spending it, does that reflect the kind of person that you want to be? Is it the hot girl lifestyle? Like, if you like, oh, hot girls vacation 2 times a year, and you ain't been on one vacation this year, it's not given that you a hot girl. It's not given that you are the girl that you said that you want to be. I also want you to think about, if you did set financial goals, how close were you to those goals? And if you didn't set any financial goals, think about, why didn't you? Where were you this time last year that you didn't even have a consideration to set financial goals for the year? After those two things are done, I need you to grab you. I'm not promoting drinking. If you're not a drinker, get whatever relaxes you. Is it a bowl of ice cream? Is it a glass of wine, a glass of whiskey? Bring it out and review your debt. How much debt do you have across all sectors? Like, from your car to your house to your credit cards. Review all of that debt, and you need it all in one spot. You need to be able to look at it, because we need to be better at either debt management or debt payoff this year. One or the two. I'm not always in agreement of paying off all your debts. Sometimes it's better to have debt management versus a debt payoff, and it just really depends on your lifestyle and your goals. You want to have a clear vision and understanding of everything that you owe. And the last thing that you want to audit is your revenue streams. Where is the money coming from? Do you have a side hustle in addition to your 9 to 5? Do you do speaking engagements? Are you a content creator, UGC or otherwise? Think about the ways that you loved to make money and how you can do them well and do them easily, to continue to do them so you can continue making more money. All right, my final thoughts of the day. Take the time to deep dive into where you currently are. I love wherever you are. I support wherever you are, but this is just the starting point, because you need to look at what you have done in the past before you can make a plan for the future. Also, if this is your first audit, the first time that you're taking the time to make these kind of audits, think about not just this past year, but the last 3 to 5 years of where you have been with your life and where you really want to go in the next 3 to 5 years. Where do you want to see yourself? What does an it girl, that girl, hot girl, whatever you want to use, what does that person look like? What does a fully developed, excited person looks like that is you in the next 3 to 5 years? You need to have a clear understanding of who she is, what she looks like, what she does, what her job is, and start crafting your life to get to that place. You're not going to be able to make all the changes in 1 year, so don't beat yourself up about that. But we need to start making these little changes now to create the life that you want to see in the future. This is not a negging session. This is not a session to beat yourself up, to say, like, why do you still have that person in your life? Or why haven't you quit this job? It is literally a neutral ground. It is a neutral audit to figure out where you are. I think that a lot of people get into this space of taking these audits as a way to hate every part of their lives. And that's why I think a pro and con list is really beneficial, and why we want to focus on the pros, because you are doing things correctly. You are doing good things, but there could just be small tweaks that you need to do to make it the best life that you want to do. It could just small things. You could be in the right role at your job, but just the wrong industry or maybe just the wrong company. All it takes is just going to a new company to really fulfill everything that you want to fulfill. So don't take this as a negging session or a session to say that you just don't have it. You have it. It's just sometimes it takes a little more close paying attention to really bring it out of you. This is a session of neutral reflection so that you can create a path forward. But as always, go make that money, friend.